Okay, welcome in everybody. Welcome to the Women's Wellness Network. Today we are with a lovely woman who seems to have a whole ball of wax. She's got all the things. She knows about wellness. She knows about healing. She knows about taking care of herself. Her name is, oh my gosh, I just about forgot your name. Her name is Carla Hooker. I'm really bad at last names and I always get people to pronounce them themselves, but I think I got it right. I got it right. Okay,
Yeah,
so
Tammy.
welcome very much. I'm so happy to have you here. Carla, how are you doing today?
I am doing great. I'm happy to be here. I thank you for this opportunity to speak on your platform.
Wonderful. Well, I know you have a lot to tell us about your own personal wellness, but first of all, maybe you could just tell us where you are in the world and what it is that you just kind of do in your day to day.
Okay. I am in Sanford, North Carolina,
Oh,
big city. No, I'm being facetious. It's a very small rural town, but it's growing quickly. And I am known as a kids dance specialist. I have worked with children for over 30 years, teaching them not only how to dance, but teaching them to have confidence and be more resilient. That's
that
what I
is,
do.
yep, that is a very honorable and noble thing to do because those little people, they need all the encouragement that they can get. They need somebody who's like, hey, I got you. This is not a problem. Let's do
Yeah.
this thing. And dancing's so much fun. They must love that.
Little kids are the best to work with. I've worked, like I said, I've worked with children for over 30 years and I love it. I love the hugs. I love the love. I love the joy that they bring. They melt your heart and they know a whole lot more than people give them credit for. They're a lot wiser than most adults give them credit for. And I love that. I love gaining wisdom through children as well.
Yes, it's kind of like we block our own, when we're little people, things happen and we end up blocking all that stuff and we forget to be a child and we forget to play and we forget to live like that. And yeah, being able to have that contact with them day to day must be
It's
heartwarming and fulfilling.
It's exciting. I'm a big 4-year-old, so I don't forget how to play and act silly. I have to remember that I'm an adult most of the time so that I won't be acting like a 4-year-old everywhere I go. I believe in having fun. After all I've been through in my life with my health, to me, you need to laugh. People need to laugh more. People need to lighten up. People need to have more fun.
Absolutely. Do you work with a certain age group of kids?
I have worked with kids as young as 2, only because I did not know they were 2. Their moms kind of
Mm,
eased in without me knowing. And by the time I knew from checking forms and going back and checking birth dates and records, they had already been there, for three to 6 months. So they were, it was no need of saying, well, you can't, you have to come back after they're old enough. And I just left it like that. You know, you
yep.
just, but no, each child is different. But as young as that, and I have taught some workshops for some school systems like it. I used to teach workshops for DC public schools when the teachers would go back to work before the kids would come in and get them dancing and moving and lighten up. Everybody, everybody that need to be uptight and so stern all the time. Yes, you need to be firm and have discipline in your room and have kids be respectful, but lighten up.
Yeah, life can be fun, right?
Yes, life can be fun. We don't have to walk around with blinders on and everybody's so serious all the time. At least not in my
Absolutely.
world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, obviously something made you want to do that. Was there some kind of how did you get involved with that to begin with?
With teaching kids dance,
Yeah.
it's enrolled me in dance when I was 3 years old
Oh,
because I was always busy doing something. And they said they did it to give me the experience because they enrolled me in a lot of different things. They exposed me to a lot of different things. My mom's an educator. She was an educator for 50 years. My dad was a law enforcement officer. So I was known for being a bossy kid, but I say I wasn't bossy. I was assertive. If I was a boy, they would say I was a leader. So I was an assertive leader. That's how I put it. And then my mom being an educator. So all of that, they decided to enroll me in Art Link Letter Dance School, which was in Temple Hills, Maryland. It no longer exists,
oh,
but it was there for many, many years. named after Art Linkletter. And my dance teacher knew I was not the best back then. I wasn't. My cousin was really, really, really good. My cousin Joyce. She's 2 years older than me, but back then, when you're little, 2 years is like she's way older.
Yeah.
And she is so good. And I always looked up to her, but I didn't really take it seriously until I saw her go on her point shoes. When she got her point shoes, and I was like, oh, wow, I want to be a ballerina. I want to be like Joycey. That's what we call her. And I started working harder and practicing more and taking it a little more seriously. I loved going before, but it was because my teacher was so encouraging and made me feel like I was just on top of the world. And I was not that good. I couldn't do a cartwheel. I couldn't do a forward roll when she was teaching us basic acrobatics. And I still can't do a cartwheel. And I still can barely do a forward roll. But I, like my cousin, I believe, and my teacher, Miss Dolly Austin, and if she's out there, I still don't know. I've been trying to find out for years if she's still in this world, on this side of glory. I would love to see her. And she would probably believe that I'm the way that I am because I was this way when I was little. So that's how I got my start.
Well, that's pretty empowering, right? Being
And
a little person, and even if it wasn't meant for your body, it was meant for your heart and for your soul. And that's why you can bring it forward, right?
exactly.
Yeah, that's
Mhm.
beautiful. That's beautiful. My goodness. Okay, now something like completely on the other end of the spectrum, sickle
Okay.
cell.
Yes, I am a sickle cell warrior also, Tammy. Sickle cell disease, I like to explain things with food because I'm a foodie and I like sweets. Don't tell one of my coaches that because she will say, Carla, you're not supposed to be eating sugar, but that's another whole story. Sickle cell, the cells are shaped like a crescent or like a croissant.
Mhm.
Regular blood cells are shaped like a donut. When your donut shaped regular blood cells are passing through your veins, your arteries, your capillaries, your blood vessels, they can slide and glide through all over your body freely. But when your blood cells are shaped like a sickle or like a banana, they start to stick. And it's because they're shaped that way because of the lack of oxygen. So instead of being round, they're misshapen and they get very sticky, very thick, very hard, like wood chips. And it feels like glass, like
Oh,
shards of glass cutting at you, away at you from the inside of your body, from the inside out. That's the best way I can explain it to anyone who hasn't experienced it or doesn't know anyone who is battling or has suffered from the disease. So that's in a nutshell. It's more than that because it affects every muscle, bone, and organ of the body, and anywhere there's blood flow. So that's the shortest way and the simplest way to explain it.
wow. Yeah, that does not sound like a fun thing in the least. No way in the least does that sound like fun. I've I've
No,
got I've got weird things coming out of my body. It doesn't have to do with that. It's from other things. And it feels terrible. So I can't imagine when it's inside of your veins and your capillaries and geez, everywhere. That would not be fun. That would be very painful and very stressful. It's
it is.
so did you have that yourself or do you know somebody?
It's a hereditary disease. It's a hereditary blood disorder. So both parents have the trait. My mom has the trait. She has the alpha trait. My dad has the beta sickle cell trait. And when they married, then I had the disease. They initially thought I just had beta positive thalassemia, sickle beta positive thalassemia, but Duke University Hospital tested again because my veins are very, very small. And not only are my veins very, very small, but my blood cell size, they're very small, like what you would see maybe in a child.
Interesting.
So they ran some more tests and they said I have sickle alpha beta positive thalassemia disease. So it's a long title, but that's what's going on with me. My veins are very small, my blood cells are very small. They sickle, but I also have this thalassemia part of it. So it's called my genotype. There's sickle cell disease, like we're under a big umbrella
Right.
and all these other different forms of it fall with up under it. We all are different to a certain extent, but then we're all the same. That's the best way I can explain it. We are more susceptible to colds and viruses and flu. That's why even though everybody else pretty much has stopped wearing their mask, I wear mine. And even with me wearing mine, when people go, oh, you don't have to wear that mask anymore. The mask mandate is over. Well, it's over for you, but it's not over for me because even with me wearing it, Tammy, I've still contracted COVID 4 times. And the last time was pretty recent. It was just last month.
Oh my.
Before that, it was November of
Oh,
2020. So I think I know what I need to do for myself. If you get
yes.
a cold, you might have a cold, the symptoms might be pretty bad 2 or 3 days. If I get a cold, I'm sick for a week, maybe two, maybe longer. And then that might make me go into what's called a sickle cell crisis, which is where pain is in different parts of the body, chronic fatigue, acute chest syndrome, where it feels like your rib cage is being ripped out of your body and someone's standing on your chest with maybe an 18-wheeler or an elephant on your chest, just sitting there parked. That's the best way I can describe it. So I have to be careful, very
Yes,
careful.
absolutely. Yeah.
Everything's still wiped down. Everything's still wiped off. My Lions Club members, they understand when I have on a mask, it's not because I think they're germy or dirty, but it's to protect me. So I'm one of the last unicorns walking around with one, but people, and I keep posting sometimes about invisible disabilities because when you look at me, you would never think that I have sickle cell. There's a stigma also that everyone with sickle cell is very, very thin and very, very frail.
Oh,
I'm full figured. I've been pumped with a lot of steroids. I still take a lot of prednisone. I still have some respiratory issues from having COVID. I've been diagnosed with long COVID. That was after having it the first time and ending up in ICU. And they told my parents they really didn't think I was going to make it and they needed to be prepared because they already had 5 teams working on me, 2 research teams, a hematology team, an ICU team, and a COVID team. And when I go back and look at my chart, it was lit up in red, like it was on fire, because everything had begun to shut down from my kidneys to every organ in my body. But I'm still here. So
yes, you are.
I'm still here. I
And
am
you're
a
looking good.
miracle. You're looking at a miracle. Thank
Yep.
you.
Yep. You are a
Might
miracle.
as well be happy. If I'm here, I might as well be happy.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So you told me about a few of your other health challenges that you've had. Um, were those because of sickle cell? Because of, you said you had some, well, I'll let you say what you want to share there.
All right. I have survived palliative care twice. The first time on palliative care was because of a really bad sickle cell crisis, but it with sickle cell, you are more susceptible to contracting pneumonia. I had double pneumonia.
Ugh.
And for some reason with sickle cell, they called in pulmonary specialists. I was at one of the top hospitals in the DC area, Holy Cross. And they called in every specialist that they could. They were trying to drain fluid through my back, out of my lung, and it was not breaking up. So they just told my parents, we're just going to make her comfortable.
Mm.
That was back in 1998, and my organs were shutting down. So I've survived multiple system organ failure twice, palliative care twice, and COVID 4 times. And I am a sickle cell warrior. And I told you, I feel like the bionic woman because because of sickle cell, yes, the hip replacements were because of avascular necrosis. People look like 2 hip replacements. You were a little young when you had that first one. Yeah, but some people that I know with sickle cell disease have had hip replacements, shoulder replacements, knee replacements in their children
Wow.
or their young teens or their early 20s. I've been fortunate. I had 3 knee surgeries in my 20s. And then, well, no, 2. And then one was when I was in the 10th grade. That's when some of the avascular necrosis started up. But I've survived a 7.5 hour back surgery, and my bones were breaking up because of sickle cell and the lack of oxygen to the bones. So I wear a back brace. People can't see it when I'm sitting on here, virtually, but it doesn't bother me because I know without it, my back is very unstable and it helps stop some of the pain. I have a lot of pain procedures that I have to go through, but I just say, well, it could be worse. I could not be able to walk at all. So, I suck it up, buttercup, and I'm still here. I'm surviving. It's an everyday, I don't want to call it a struggle. It's an everyday challenge.
Mm.
And I just keep pushing on.
Keep
Some
on
people
keeping on.
still in my shoes. Yeah. I was told that I wasn't gonna live to be this old. They said I wouldn't they told my parents I would probably not make it to 18. And then 18, it was 21, and 21, it was 30, 30, 40, enough already. I'm 55. I'll be 56 this year.
Oh,
So
me too.
that's right.
Tomorrow.
Oh yeah, yeah, right, right.
We've been through some crap, girl.
We have been. So I thank God. Or people might thank the universe. Maybe it's a little bit of both, but I know who I thank and give credit for me still being here. And I'm grateful.
Yeah. Yes. Look at you. What did you call
The,
yourself? You called
the
yourself
bionic
Bionic
woman. I
Woman.
call myself the
Yeah.
bionic woman because I said I used to pretend like I was Lindsay Wagner and you were doing the sound effects when we were warming up. Yeah. I used to, and I still want to meet her. And I'm
Oh,
going to put
wouldn't that
it
be
out there in
fun?
the universe. I have to meet Lindsay Wagner. She is
Okay,
one of my
Women's
favorite.
Wellness Network. If anybody knows Lindsay Wagner, Carla needs to meet her.
I have to meet her.
Yep.
Lindsay Wagner, the Bionic Woman, and Wonder Woman, the original Wonder Woman, Linda Carter.
Yes, ma'am. Oh, yeah. I grew up with those girls too. Well, we're the same age, right?
That's why the big bracelets and because I used to pretend like I was blocking bullets, and I still do it. I told you I'm a 4-year-old, so you're getting me started up. But yeah, I've got to meet them, so I'm putting it out there in the universe to meet Linda Carter and Lindsay Wagner.
All right. Come on, Gus. You can make that happen.
That's
Gus.
right.
I call Gus because that's God, universe, and spirit to me.
Oh, I like
So
that.
I'll
I
just
like
call him
that.
Gus. We're on a first name basis.
I like it. See, I believe you can manifest anything you want. When I first joined one of my coaches, and I don't want to plug people because I don't know how you're doing your network, but she I told the people, when I was registering, I said, what's she doing August 24th? And they were like, oh, she's really busy. She's really this, she's really that. She doesn't know her schedule. We don't know, but we don't want to promise you anything. And I said, okay, that's fine. I'm going to spend my birthday with her. And I know they thought I was absolutely crazy, but guess what?
You
I
did.
spent my birthday with her. And that entire community, she had them sing happy birthday to me. And then I told her, I said, I manifest this when I first enrolled into your community. And by the time I told her the whole story, she was in tears. Other people were in tears. And then we had to we had to switch everything up so everybody could be happy on my birthday instead of sad. Not really sad, but just emotional.
Yeah.
So you can manifest anything you want. And I mean, from her to a book with Les Brown to being privately coached by Les Brown with only 9 other people, I know who's looking out for me.
Right?
You have what you want and what you ask for. And I kept saying it over and over and over and over, but I believed it in my heart, Tammy, and it happened. So
Well, I think your 4-year-old comes in handy because 4-year-olds are joyous and don't they don't know that they can't have what they want to have, right? So embodying that and using that, I think that's the best way to manifest because we get back to our who we really are ultimately. That little person who's wants all the things and who dreams big, and we forget to dream big when we're old. Not that we're
right.
old, but we're older, wiser.
I know how to ask for it and pitch it and get it. And I've had that some of not I've perfected the skill with coaching and coaches, but I had that skill as a young child because if I wanted ice cream, I was going to get it. If I didn't want to eat what was on my plate at my grandmother's, guess what? Everybody else had to eat it, but Carla didn't. Some of my cousins still tease me to this day, and I hope they're not listening. I hope they are, but I hope they're not, because they still have this bet that we know you didn't take a nap when Aunt Paula made everybody else. No, I didn't. I would whisper to her, "You got to be kidding! I'm not taking a nap. I don't need one. I need to watch all my children with you." She would, okay, listen. When they all go to sleep, you sneak back up here, and then you can watch it with me. I was always the first one up. So some of my cousins swear they know, and I'm like, you don't know. But they were actually right, but they don't need to know that. And with my grandmother, she would say, because I would walk to the store with her. The rest of them wanted to play kickball. I didn't really care about playing. If I played, okay, but I didn't really want to get sweaty. I'm still the same way. So I would walk with her to the grocery store and back, and she'd say, "I'll give you an extra piece of cake before I give them some." And I'm like, wait a minute, but do I get a piece with dinner like everybody else? Of course. So yeah, it's just channeling that inner 4-year-old and keeping it with you, or whatever age you knew how to get what you wanted and desired and didn't care, and was unbothered, and you weren't afraid to ask. I believe in it.
Yep, I believe in it also. I
Good.
think Lindsay Wagner and Linda Carter are going to be coming your way.
I'm, they are welcome here. I mean, they are welcome. If they're in North Carolina or somewhere near North Carolina, they need to let me know. I'm telling you, I will probably cry like I won like $1 billion just to meet either one of them, and then to meet both. It's
Right.
gonna happen, Tammy. It's gonna
Yep,
happen.
I feel that too. I think so. I do think so. I'm going to tell you, I know this is your interview, but I'm going to tell you one quick story about me when I was little with Wonder Woman.
Oh,
When I went through cancer. And when I was going through it, a friend of mine from the first grade sent me a message with a picture of Wonder Woman and says, "I know that you're just going to be fine because you used to wear your panties over top of your leotards just like Wonder Woman."
did you really?
I did. I did.
Yeah.
Well, it got me through. I'm good. I'm healthy. Right? Maybe
Worked.
I need to meet them too, I think. We'll get together and we'll meet them.
Both of us together. Let's put it out there.
Oh, that's fun. That's so fun. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Yes.
Okay. Now I'm like crying.
All right. I love it. Love it.
Yeah, so much fun. Oh my word. Okay. I just totally love I love the dancing thing. I love that you help the children. Do you do the dancing with the kids?
I do. Now, not as much as I did before. When my body's tired or when my back is hurting, I know to sit down. But they know I can do it. And when I get up and do certain things, I'm like, what? Who do you think taught you? And they forget, like, oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, I used to, when I first started over 30 years ago, each time I would do everything for the entire time, but I know my limits. So I'm not going to dance myself into a crisis, but I can point and do like Mr. Mitchell did as he got older, who was my mentor. I can, if they're just not getting it, then I can, I'll clap it out and I'll say, this is how it's supposed to be. And then they're like, wow, oh, Miss Carla, we didn't know you could do that.
That is so fun.
That's all it takes. And then when they see me do a pirouette, yeah, I'm like, yeah, I'm a fluffy girl, but I can still do a pirouette.
Fluffy. I love that. I love
I
that, Fluffy.
still do a pirouette. Don't underestimate me. Yeah,
Right? Well, yeah, whose mindset is that? It's not yours.
right. It's not mine. It's theirs, not mine. So
Beautiful.
thank
Beautiful.
you.
Oh my goodness, that's so much fun. So do you just teach in person? Is that how you do it?
I have taught online, and the requests are coming at me like this to teach online again. I had just gotten burnt out teaching online,
Yeah.
and so had the children for a while. Now there are other cities who are really pulling me. I live in Sanford. My daughter teaches in Sanford, but I have other locations where I will be teaching starting this spring, which is right around the corner. And I'm really excited about it. It's a change for me. It won't be 7 days a week, like I used to do, but I will still it will enable me to be at more places than I was before without giving away all my new stuff that I'm going to debut. But I'm loving doing something different and then bringing more younger dance instructors and choreographers in to
Mhm.
work with me. Now I'm still the boss,
Right.
but it'll give the kids an opportunity to do like I did with my friends many, many years ago through the Dance Theater of Harlem residency back in like the early 90s when they would come down from New York and we would teach the kids at the Kennedy Center or at Duke Ellington School for the Performing Arts or at the Suitland School for the Performing Arts. And
Wow.
we would rotate locations on the weekend. Some taught in Virginia. I never taught over at the Virginia Center. I taught with my late friend Fabian Barnes, who was one of the principal dancers with the Dance Theater of Harlem. And every
Right.
time I say his name, I get chills and feel like he's standing over me, watching over me, along with Mr. Mitchell on the other side. But I learned a lot from them, from both of them. And this idea that I came up with to teach this spring and this summer just originated with Arthur Mitchell, the late great visionary, and like my other dad, he's gone but never forgotten. And this is where I got it from. So I know it'll work here because it exposes kids to so much more. And it's not so rigorous and so strict, as a regular ballet class. Not that they're not going to get ballet in discipline, but we're going to just make it a little bit more fun. More neoclassical ballet or ballet, as Mr. Arthur Mitchell would say. He never said ballet. He would say ballet. Carla, ballet. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's so fun. Oh my goodness. Yep. I'm like, you're making me like laugh and
It's
tear.
okay. Laugh,
It's
cry,
awesome.
everything.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
so beautiful.
I met him at the Kennedy Center. I wasn't even going to go the night that I went, and he awarded me with the scholarship because my uncle had passed away. The funeral had been changed a zillion times. It was a military funeral. And that day that the symposium was the same day that his funeral had finally been moved to. And, with the military, it was very strict with the time, and things started running off schedule because of the ice and snow. And we were still at the repast when I needed to be at the Kennedy Center. And this was way out in Cheltenham, Maryland. Anybody knows the Maryland geography in the DC area. And I needed to get all the way up northwest to the Kennedy Center. And I was just like, you know what? I'm just not going to go. And my brother, who passed away in 2017, we were like twins. He said, "You're going." And I said, "I didn't get my dress out of the cleaner." And I just kept making excuse after excuse. And because I knew you just don't show up for Arthur Mitchell's classes late, and definitely not a symposium with 350 other teachers. So long story short, he got the dress. I went. I was so late that they could hear my heels clicking like this on the floor. And the more I tried, the louder they sounded. And he was talking, and I couldn't find a chair. And I was like, okay, now I'm going to be standing while he's talking. That's not going to look good. I'm already coming in late. And my friend Fabian Barnes kind of come over here, and he had a chair. So I sat down beside him. He pushed me back, and then they started passing this message down. She's here. She's here. She's here. She's here. And I was like, oh, great. I'm in time for the guest. Great. And I'm like, is it Debbie Allen? Who is it? Well, it was me.
Yay.
I did not
Yay.
know that. He he finished up the last question, and he said, "Well, I'm done." And I had just sat in my seat. That's how late I was.
Right.
I heard my special guest is here. I'll be with you all in a moment. Go grab some food. And I was like, wow, I drove all the way up here for this. So, and I didn't want to say for nothing because it wasn't for nothing. It was to meet him in person. So all of a sudden I heard my name. And then I'm like, he doesn't know me. And then I heard Carla Hooker. Now you can't, everybody can understand that.
Yep.
Where are you? I heard you were here. And I raised my hand. So I thought somebody told him that was me who was late. So I was like, really frantic. And I started walking across the room. And when I finally got to him, everybody's quiet now, like that commercial when E.F. Hutton talks, people listen. Everybody was listening. And I extended my hand and he swatted it away. Tammy, the tears were right here. And I said, "You don't want to shake my hand?" And he was like, "No, I don't." And I was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry, sir." He said, "Sorry for what? I want to hug you. I love you. I love what you're doing
Oh,
with those kids." And the tears just started coming down.
that's
And
incredible.
yeah, he loved my children. He took four of them that summer. He gave them scholarships to New York. They danced on stage at the Kennedy Center with the Dance Theater of Harlem. I began helping teach ballet with the Dance Theater at the Kennedy Center with my friend Fabian, and also at his school, the Dance Institute of Washington. My friend Fabian got awarded later, years later, got awarded an award by Michelle Obama at the White House.
Wow,
And yeah, the rest is history. But
that's fantastic.
that recognition from Arthur Mitchell, I will never, ever forget.
I guess not.
Yeah.
That's very special. Wow.
And I
Wow.
wasn't going to go. Thanks to my brother, I went anyway. And that's what I try to tell people. When you feel like there's no hope and there's no need, that's when you need to do it and go anyway. Do it anyway, go anyway. Because what if I hadn't? We
Right.
wouldn't even be talking right now because none of this probably would have transpired.
Yeah, who knows where you would have ended up, right?
Right. You never know, you
And
know, what God has in store for you.
mhm.
So go,
Wow.
go,
Go.
do
Go
it.
and be. Go and
Yeah.
be and do.
Go be and do. I
Always.
like, we need to get
Yeah.
that.
Well, you're Wonder Woman, you're the Bionic Woman, you're all that woman. So,
Right. But I can't
yeah.
put that on a shirt.
Oh, maybe you can.
The shirt. That might be trademark, but we can put go be and do.
Right?
That's taken. Yeah. I
Fabulous.
like
Fabulous. Oh my gosh, Carla, thank you so much. Wow, what a journey. Holy smokes. And yeah, and sitting there, you're so vibrant and you're still doing your thing and you're helping people and wow. Thank you. Thank you for being you. Thank you for
you're
doing the
welcome.
things you do because yeah, especially with little people because they're coming up in the world and they need positive and they need to see people who are bionic women and Wonder Women and can keep going and show up even when they don't feel like it.
That's right. They keep me going.
Yeah. Well,
They are my best medicine.
that's awesome. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Okay. So if people would like to connect with you in any way, talk about anything, how
Okay.
can they connect with you?
They can connect with me on Facebook. It's just Carla Hooker,
Okay.
or they can go to my website. It's carlaskidsdance.org. Carla with the K there, even though I know they see my name with the C. When I started Carla's Kids Dance and Carla's Kids Musical Ministries 30 years ago, my dad was like, it doesn't look as pretty. It needs to start with a K. So aesthetically, it looked better. That's the only reason why. So it's carlaskidsdance.org, Carla with the K for the website. And that's how they can reach me or connect with me on Facebook or both, or Carla's Kids Musical Ministries, Carla with a K, also on Facebook with the group. And just click on, a friend request to join the group in our community there and learn more about me.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Well, we'll put all that information in the comments. Anybody
Great.
watching, if you want to connect with Carla, that information is going to be in the comments because this Wonder Woman, she's got a lot to share. So my goodness, thank you so much for coming on today, Carla. That was amazing. And
Thank
yeah,
you.
I'm going to go check out your website myself.
Yay.
Yay. So yeah, here's to us 56-year-olds, Wonder Woman,
Yay.
Bionic Women doing our thing.
Great.
Right? At a girl. Okay. So yeah, until next time, I hope to connect with you again. And yeah, until
Definitely.
next time. And thank you all on the Women's Wellness Network. Until next time, be well.